Okay, and you were what, approximately 38 years old at the time?
I think I was 35.
Oh, 35. Okay, and she was 10. Okay, and how many times did it happen?
Um, Twice.
Twice?
Knowledge, yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before I even saw the hearing, I knew that he was locked up for these kind of offenses. Unfortunately, we see that many inmates try to hijack the crucifix and put it around their neck for these parole hearings, thinking that they're gonna fool us, and yet they don't know that it's actually a big symbol saying, "Look at what I did. Look what's in my jacket."
Second offense was forcible 2 counts, introducing or contraband in a municipal or parish prison or jail. Sentencing date 9/5/2027. Sentence to 20 years hard labor, each count to run concurrent with each other. 2 years hard labor run consecutively. Parole date is 8/8/2024. Good time date is 10/20/2034. Full term date is 2/8/2036. Would you like to make a statement?
Yes, sir. I would like to start off by saying that I apologize for my foolish action for causing pain and hurt to so many people that love me. And they were stupid for even putting myself in a situation like that. And I'm kind of glad that I'm in the position I'm in right now for better correction and conviction, and would like to share that, to be able to share that with others whenever that I do get out, so they won't make the same decisions that I made, you know. And I would not, I would like to learn. I learned how to discipline myself and to be focused, more focused and positive, to establish a more productive life and regain my sanity. And I would like to be able to share that with others on the outside for better productive life and correction.
Thank you. Would the staff like to read what they have?
Yes, sir. We've had Mr. Jones here for a while. He completed the 9th grade, but he's currently enrolled in GED here at CPCF. Mr. Jones is also currently enrolled in Thinking for a Change, and he is in our faith-based Christian dorm where he participates in Recovery Through Christ, Malachi Dads, and other programs. He is also doing a distant learning Bible course that he's been doing off and on since I think 2021. The staff here have had no problems with Mr. Jones. The GED lady instructor wrote a letter on his behalf. I don't know if you want me to read the letter she wrote.
Yes, please.
She said, "Dear Parole Board, I'm writing to express my unyielding support for Bourne Jones, who is up for parole review. My student, Bourne Jones, has exemplified how a student should conduct himself. He has been a pleasure to instruct, studious, eager to learn, and has worked very hard to meet all of his class obligations. During his incarceration, he has made commendable efforts to rectify his past wrongs, have engaged in multiple programs aimed at self-improvement and skills acquisitions, and she sincerely urges the board to consider this letter of support during his upcoming hearing. Thank you for your time and consideration, Ms. Delta Grove."
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Did
We
y'all get a copy of all his certificates?
Yes, we have copies of it. Yes.
And then our security staff also said that they have had no discipline reports on him. He works as our hall man. As needed, gives them no problems. He's not had any write-ups, and they had nothing but good things to say about his behavior on compound.
Thank you so much. We have someone too here on your behalf. And that is, Ms. Freeman. Frida Edmond, your aunt.
Yes, sir.
She's gonna speak, and then, Vicky Holmes is here on your behalf. And Miss Mildred Holmes Jones, your aunt. She's here too, but Frida Edmond is gonna speak. Is she ready? Miss
Yeah,
Edmond?
good evening. Good evening. I'm Frida Admin. Thank you all for taking the opportunity to hear me. I'm Barn Jones's aunt, oldest aunt. And I feel and believe that he has learned his lesson and he's taken the right path into correcting his life. And I feel as though given a second chance, he would be a more productive citizen. We have established everything for him to come home. And even though I don't live in Ville Platte, I live in Shreveport, and but I go home a lot. And my nephews and nieces and all of them, they do depend on me, and I'm there for them, as well as my other siblings. So I think giving him that second chance would not only be beneficial to him, but others he may encounter to help them to change their lives if they're on the wrong path. But I think he'll be a great mentor in the community, letting everyone see how he have changed. And I see just by looking at him, he has changed. His demeanor is different, you know? So I would appreciate it if you all would consider granting him this parole. And I promise I'll do everything in my ability to ensure that he does not go back. And whatever I can do financially, emotionally, physically for him, I am willing to do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones, Ms. Stapleton is handling your case today. And I'm gonna turn it over to her.
Okay, so there wasn't anybody else who wanted to speak? They just present?
So it was just one.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, yes, sir. Mr. Jones, I'd like for you to tell me how you got that charge of aggravated 2 counts, because that's what your actual charge was. How did that happen?
It all started behind a message in the phone.
With the 10-year-old?
Yes. Then,
You were living there now, right?
yes, ma'am.
And so
I
you're
was living there at the time, yes, ma'am.
right. And so you're texting this 10-year-old?
No, it started behind a text in the phone. In the phone that she had, it was for
Right.
somebody else, and the person that they gave it back to went through it, and it had a text in there that said that my mom and dad is fussing, and that she won't be able to have sex with her dad tonight. That's what the text said.
Mm-hmm.
And in the phone, and it all and the stuff just start transpiring according to that.
Right. And who found that, Tom, by the way? Was it an aunt? Somebody like that?
No, the mother gave it to her ex-boyfriend.
Okay. And so that's when that text was discovered.
Yes, ma'am.
And they decided to check with the daughter to see what was going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did the daughter tell him at first what was going on? She was only 10 years old.
Yeah, at first she denied the allegation because it was me, her, and her grandfather sitting down talking, and she denied it at first, but afterwards, when they took her to the hospital and found out that she was been tampered with, and that's when and everything else just escalated from there.
Yeah, that's what I read, that the child was questioned in front of you as to whether or not it had happened.
Yes, ma'am.
That's traumatizing right there. So then they go to the hospital and they examine the child.
Yes, ma'am.
And they find out, in fact, there had been sexual intercourse. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So where do you get involved in that?
Well, I was there. I was living there at the time.
And so you did it or didn't do it?
I mean, I'm guilty of the charge.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get to. So you're the one that had sexual intercourse with a 10-year-old, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you were what, approximately 38 years old at the time?
I think I was 35.
Oh, 35, okay, and she was 10. Okay, and how many times did it happen?
Twice.
Twice?
Knowledge, yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah. All right, and so then that charge, which was actually aggravated rape, it got pled down to forcible rape. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And both of those were 2 counts.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, had you gotten aggravated rape, I'm thinking by today's charges, an aggravated rape would be a life sentence.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And so you would have had 2 life sentences had you gotten what you actually did. So now you've been pled down to 20 years and it's for 2 counts and they're going to run concurrent. Am I correct?
Ma'am.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to me about all this? I mean, not just me, everybody, anybody.
Yes, ma'am. I'm truly apologize for my actions and my wrongs, and I admit to my wrongs. And I've been sitting down to have time to think about everything that I have done, and I'm truly apologize for it, and I'm sorry that it ever happened and ever crossed in my mind to even think about doing something so foolish as that. And I'm sorry for hurting those that I have done it to, and the family of those that I have done it to. And hopefully, deeply they accept my apology and forgive me, so I could strengthen myself to strengthen others.
Well, let me tell you something. The word you keep using twice, that it was a foolish action, you used that word, and now you just again said foolish. What you did was not foolish, it was heinous and it was cruel.
Yes, ma'am.
And we just had a young lady, that appeared that something like this happened to her. And I've heard other young victims say the same thing. They just simply don't recover from it because you stole that baby's innocence. I want you to know that it is not a foolish action. It is a lifelong action to that victim. You robbed from her something she will never get back. I want you to know that you have strong opposition from the DA's office. And the statement is the victim was only 10 years old. And you also have strong opposition from the sheriff's office. That is all I have to say. So it goes to whoever would like to speak next.
Mr. Prater, you have any questions?
No question.
I have no questions also. Is the board ready to vote?
Yes,
Ms. Stapleton?
I vote to deny because you need more time there. I didn't notice that you had any sex offender classes. You do have a lot of classes, but I didn't notice sex offender classes. So if I'm wrong about that, I hope that you will get some sex offender classes. And I think you need to spend more time so that you can accomplish at least those goals, and you just haven't served enough time as a heinous crime.
Mr. Prater?
Nah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Just not enough time. Sorry.
Yes. Mr. Jones, my vote is also to deny. I'm glad that you're taking some steps forward and doing some good things there where you are. I think you need to get some more sexual abuse classes, and I hope that you will continue on this good path. This concludes, you've been denied today, and this concludes our business for today. We're going to sign off at 12:42 p.m.
Gosh, I love Miss Stapleton. She comes in with the mic drops, and it's just like her look. She looks like this, like the grandmother next door, just the classic, you know. And then she comes on there with this power. I have to make shorts with her because for YouTube Shorts, because man, it just like catches you off guard. It's so powerful. And she really cares. You should check out. We've gone through her bio a few times, but she is the victim's advocate. You know, she replaced Mr. Roche, who most of us love and adore. I know I do. But if we could have picked anyone to replace him, it would be Miss Stapleton, and she's just amazing. She's and the DAs, you know, they give him these sentences like he could have gotten two life sentences. They give him a deal, but he's up for parole, you know, pretty quickly. Remember he only took the plea deal in 2017, and they're just two-faced. You know, they write a letter. At least they wrote a letter. They don't show up. They don't, but they write a letter. But they're the ones that made the plea deal. It's like what? I mean, she's 10 years old. 10 years old. Like, how are you not given the life sentences? Well, what? Like, it's just, I can never get over it. You know, thank you, Richard, for sharing the information. There's no appeal. Thank God there was even an article. We don't see this stuff, right? They don't uh, write about these things because it's just children. We know that. But Jones pled guilty to 2 counts of forcible sexual assault for incidents that occurred in early 2014. His plea came a mere couple of hours before a jury was to be selected for Jones' trial. So he was playing, you know, they do this often. They play the games. They're like, you know, well, we're not taking a plea deal. We're going to go to trial. And I guess let's give the DA credit. They were going to take this to trial. They were going through the process. And he thought that he would call their bluff. But he realized that no, they're about to pick a trial, so he said, "Okay, I'll do the plea deal." Jones was originally charged with aggravated sexual assault in this matter. In the bill of indictment of these charges, it stated that Jones, on or between January 1st, 2014 and May 26, 2014, committed offenses of this nature upon a 10-year-old by having everything. He look at what he did. Look at what he did. Why? Jones, however, pled guilty to 2 counts and received 20-year sentence for each count, but they're running concurrently. Does that sound familiar? Huh. How often do we see that? Or at the same time, Jones also received a charge for introducing possessing contraband in any municipal parish or jail. For this crime, the man was sentenced to 2 years of hard labor. I like how, 2 years for bringing that into jail, 20 years for doing that to a 10-year-old. The sentence was set to run consecutively with his 20-year sentence, so he gets a total of 22 years. Following the plea, the parish district attorney, Trent Brignac, complimented the efforts of Chris Ledoux, who was prosecuting the assistant district attorney in this matter, and Judge Chuck West, who was the presiding judge in this case. Chris Ledoux worked very tirelessly preparing for this case, and I want to compliment him on the hard work he put in leading up to the trial. I also want to compliment the judge on the preparation he had to do, as well as leading up to his trial, so that he could make well-informed decisions. And that's why we gave him a 20-year deal. I am proud. Psychopaths. They had the evidence. They had everything they needed to put him away for life. Yeah. That's why we do this. And with that, I'll let you go.